Good morning. My name is Demas. I'm the other half of the grapevine lady. We're out today. We're going to pull vine and we're going to give you pointers on how to do stuff. To start with, I have a bucket here I call my vine bucket. I bring all of my supplies inside this bucket. I have a knife, machete, whatever you want to call it. I have my snips, cutting the vine, my gloves, and all my goodies in here, my snacks, drinks, whatever it is I want to bring with me. And it also serves as a seat if you need to sit down. And we'll go on to pulling vine. All right, here we are in the beautiful world of nature. We're out here, we're going to pull us a bunch of vine. What you're looking for is tall pines, and you can see the tall vine growing up in these pines. And what you have to do is grab and pull. This stuff is too big, so we have to pull to get to the better stuff. And we'll demonstrate that here in a few minutes. Now normally we have to cut a trail to get to the pines that has the vine. And new trails, I will flag them. You'll see pink flags here and there where I have flagged our trail. So let's get started. Let's go down this trail. All right, along our way, we come across one of the cautions that you need to be aware of, and that's poison ivy. And it's a 3-leaf little thing, plant. You get that on you, it will spread all over you and itch like crazy. And there's also a poison oak, and it looks like an oak leaf. But that's the two things you need to be aware of when you're pulling vine. And you also need to be aware of snakes, because they are some dangerous snakes in these woods. And we'll now continue on to the vine pull. All right, let's go over our vine. Now, there's some that are too big, and there's some that's perfect. This is the ideal size. Maybe a 1/4, 3/8 inch thick. This is getting too big, unless you're doing big projects. But that's basically what we're looking for, is the pretty small size brown vine. Sometimes it gets gray, but we like the brown stuff. And that basically covers what we're looking for. So when you're out here and you're trying to find the vine, you just look in the distance and you can see it growing up. And there's like 1, 2, 3 trees right there, and it's just all over the place. You just have to hunt for it and cut your path to it. And then you start pulling. Now, to start with, this vine is long and you need a place beside the trail to stack your vine before you pull it out of the woods. So you're not pulling one strand at a time all the way out. You put a stack, and once you get your stack to the size you want, then you pull the stack out to the open where we can load it. But right now, we will go ahead and clear out a little path. All right, to start this off, I need to make you aware of some dangers of pulling vine. You got to watch for fallen limbs whenever you're pulling vine, especially in tall pines. There's always some little dead limbs. So when you pull it, keep your eyes on what you're doing, so that way the limbs don't fall and hit you in the head. So we'll start with this piece right here. I cut it at a kind of a 45, and then we pull. That one's not as long as I normally pull, but it's a nice piece. You want to pull it right down here. We're going to start stacking. And as you stack, you got to push it off the trail so you can get through. All right, there's piece number one. All right, there's one tool that I haven't introduced to you, and it's what I call my pulling stick. Cut it out of the woods. I find me a good stick with a fork in it so that I can reach up and pull the vine to me. I have a piece right here I want to reach, so I'm taking my pulling stick and I'm getting right in the V of that vine right there that I want to pull, and I pull it to me until I can reach it, and then it's hands on from there. Now sometimes some of this stuff is big and long, hard to pull out of the trees. Sometimes you have to add a little weight to your pull. And the way I do that is I cut it long enough that I can wrap it around me and kind of make a saddle out of it. And then you just kind of put your weight on it as you pull it. And once you get it to a certain point, you can grab it and pull it. But you don't want this big stuff. So what you're trying to do is get to the better stuff on top. I think that'll work. A little bigger than I like, but I'll let them sort it out at the vineyard where they make this stuff. Nice piece. Alright, you can see how my stack is growing. When I'm out here in the thick like this, I don't like my pile to get too big, because the bigger the pile, the harder it is to pull out. And the important thing about making your stack is not getting it all tangled up. As you're pulling, you need to make sure the piece that you're pulling is not scraping across the pile you have. Because if you do that, it's going to ball up and it's going to get tangled. Now you can see I keep mine off the pile. But when I get here, I throw it on the pile, and then I'll go down through there kicking it all back on the pile. Alright, my pile is big enough for me to haul out of here. And I mentioned my bucket earlier, and this is where my bucket comes in. I'm going to take a short break before I pull that stack out of here, because I just pulled a pretty good load, and it does hiring you out. So take a few minutes and I'll pull this bundle out of the woods. Alright, this is my little buddy here, Sport. He likes to go with me everywhere I go. And honestly, I like having him with me because he will alert me to snakes if there's any close by. That's an advantage of having a dog with you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull this bundle out here because it's to the size that I prefer, you know, to pull out. And to start with, when you're stacking it, try to get your ends as close as you can together evenly so you don't have a long one hanging down when you're pulling and tripping, you're stepping on it. So we're going to grab this bundle, make sure we got every piece of vine in our hands that's in that bundle. We'll bundle it up. And I'm going to throw it up there and we're going to pull it out of here. So let's go. Gotta watch for holes. Stepped in a critter hole there. All right. Alright, that's load one. We'll take a little break and we'll go back for another load. All right, our short break is over. It's time to shed this thing because it done got hot. Now during our break, we measured out our vine here, and our longest piece is 50 feet. So that gives you kind of an idea of what we're pulling out of these trees. The longer, the better. So now, let's go get another bundle. Alright, on my way out with the first bundle, as you can see, this is the hole that I stumbled into. It's just a hole from a dead pine tree that had died and rotted away. This is a hidden danger because you can fall in that and you can twist an ankle or possibly even break a leg depending on how you land in it. But another one of those things you got to watch for. Now, one more thing while we're at it. Clothing. When you come out here, it's best to always wear long pants. Some good shoes. Some people, wear snake boots. I have wore snake boots, but today I'm in just some slip-ons. But a lot of times you might want to wear long sleeves, because that'll help protect you from scrapes and cuts, and also help protect you from any kind of poison vine, poison oak, whatever it is that grows wild out here in the woods. So with that being said, we're going to go on to another bundle. All right, here we are. We're fixing to roll up everything up we got, and we're going to go in for lunch, take us a good lunch break, and then we'll probably come back out for another load. But I got my string stretched out here that I use, and I'll tie the bundles off about every 5 to 6 feet so I can roll it up in a big roll. It makes it easier to transport and easier to handle. So let's get started. I'm going to grab a couple, 2 or 3 here. We're going to go to this pile. And what we want to do is get underneath everything, wrap it around, and then we're going to tie this off. Nothing special, just a quick slip knot so that we can untie it really easily. Alright, so we're going to do that about every 5 to 6 feet. Okay, now we have this bundle tied off and tamed so we can roll it up into a roll. I always start at the far end and roll it backwards because it makes it easier to unroll. So we're going to start right here. We're going to start with a small roll, because by the time we get to the other end, it's going to be a big roll. So here we go. The more you can keep it tucked in as you roll it, the better. After we get it in a roll, then we take a long rope, run it through and around. And now it's ready for transport. All right, now we can take it back to the grease factory.
About 76.
You added 2?
No. 78.
78 pounds.
It's 57 plus 2, 59.
Dang, I was about to say I was up pulled yesterday. Alright, 59, I told you. Alright, so we weigh it so we kind of get an idea of what we pulled in. And we use this scale. We add 2 pounds because there's another piece that goes with it that weighs 2 pounds. But we don't use that part, we just use the hook. But that's what we do at the end of the trip. And thanks for hanging with me today and pulling a load of vine. This is the end of the journey. for this trip.